the Appropriations Committee has gone back and put out a very detailed budget, and the Republican budget has put this out, which is nothing. And so they're not funding education, they're not funding our community colleges, they're not funding the things that are very important to us here in this area. If our goal here in the state of Connecticut is to grow our tax base, and that means we need to have a workforce that is ready for the 21st century. And we have in the Appropriations Committee budget money for Jobs Funnel Program, the Robotics Club, the Manufacturing Pipeline Initiative, Cradle to Career, Veteran Machinist Training, Pilot Reentry. All those things are important to getting a workforce that is ready for the jobs of the 21st century. And having an education funding formula that prepares students, especially in our urban areas, is important for us. And so these are the things we need to do in order to grow our tax base here in the state of Connecticut. We cannot afford to have 40–50% of our kids in our urban areas who do not have the skills necessary to have those jobs of the 21st century. That's why this education funding formula is so important.
What makes Norwalk special is that we do lead with education. I think that our efforts have been consistent on this front for a long time. But as a member of the Appropriations Committee, I not only have the sleep deprivation to prove it, but also the fact that we live and breathe every dime we try to bring back for Norwalk, and it's more than just overall funding. I think that when you look into the details, when you look at more money for our job funnel programs, manufacturing pipeline initiatives, healthcare apprenticeship, youth employment program, it's not just education in terms of classic education. These are specific areas that obviously we need to focus on, STEM, and as well as ancillary art and music, but also frankly preparing students for the real world. And I think that not only does this budget make sure that our kids are trained or educated in the right way, but they also become sensitized to the needs and the requirements and the skill sets that they're going to need, and frankly the interests that they may want to acquire more of in different programs that we're offering now. So this is it's exciting news for us. There was no real initiative from the Republican side. We just heard crickets. We have to, if we're going to help our students, help our kids, we have to lead the way to do it. And I just once again like to thank Senator Duff for his leadership on this.
Bare bones education can come fairly cheap without all the testing. But when we need to motivate kids who are vulnerable, who are at risk, it takes a good deal of sensitivity and training, and it takes a good deal of interesting programs, job training, robotics, all sorts of teams. These do require equipment. All of the testing requires a good deal of computer skill. So we appreciate every dollar that's brought to the Norwalk Public Schools, and will commit to use it really carefully. Finally, I think the only thing that's worse than paying taxes is dealing with an uneducated population 20 years from now. So we really do benefit by having this type of support in Hartford for the entire state of Connecticut.
I just wanted to say one of the things I was most excited about sitting on an appropriations was actually the $6 million increase for magnet schools. We've seen in our community here how impactful it's been on our students having these great programs. And this additional investment is going to keep these schools great. And I really am super excited about that going forward. And the sad thing was this wasn't a concept that was grasped on the other side of the aisle. So I'm pleased about that that got through the Appropriations Committee. So we will, hopefully it'll have the same success on the floor, because these magnet schools are great for our towns and our cities.
We have worked extremely hard, and we continue to work extremely hard to make sure that the ECS funding is fair and that it is balanced, and that we will make sure that the folks in the urban communities are getting their share due. And I think that it's only right. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you start seeing other towns that has the same makeup as Norwalk that's getting somewhere around about 15–20% more. I think we have to level the playing field here and make it fair across the state. And I think education is extremely important. We want to make sure that our young youth are being able to take advantage of STEM schools and things of that nature. And then if we're balancing the budget and really allocating those funds to where they need to go, I think our kids will be better off, and we'll be able to be very competitive in years to come.